Well, welcome back to Desert Smoke Reviews. This is Justin.
What?
And Monty.
Tonight we're taking a look at the Nimmy D by Rocky Patel, but I'm guessing Nimmy, his brother, is the one that's blended this cigar. But anyway, it's in the Toro. It's got a nice Maduro wrapper on it. Nice and dark brown, but not exceptionally dark, but relatively nice. A little lumpy, but you expect that into a hand-rolled cigar. Probably medium veins. They're relatively prominent, but I don't think they're going to be an issue. Seams are visible, but they seem to be done all right. Got one little stretch mark right here, but I don't think it'll be an issue. I've already cut it. The draw's pretty good, so overall, I'm ready to go. The aroma for me is actually, it's like a chocolate and earth. It's actually very, very nice. And these have about a month age on them now. So I'm not sure if it's something to do with age once I got them, but yeah, very nice. And then off the foot, for me it's almost all powdered chocolate. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I agree. This is just it's a beautiful looking cigar, nice and dark and oily, and I really like the banding here, and it just definitely catches your eye, and it has a real classy look to it. Pretty firm all the way throughout. And like Justin said, definitely a lot of chocolate aromas in the wrapper. I get like maybe a little bit of cedar, or almost like a wet cedar or something like that. But really aromatic. And then on the foot, yeah, chocolate powder. It's like chocolate milk powder. Just really, really good. I'm looking forward to letting this out.
Yeah, I can't say much different than what those guys said. It is a really cool, classy looking cigar. I haven't seen it on a shelf of a cigar store, but I bet it would stand out. Which is, what you're looking for. This dark brown wrapper with a nice contrasting navy and silver and white bands. I bet it really sticks out and catches the eye. And same, I've got several veins on mine, but nothing that scare me. It is a nice, relatively firm pack all the way through. There's no soft spots. And I can't really differ from what the guy said on the aromas. There's a lot of earthiness on mine and some chocolate off the wrapper, but tons of that dry, soft cocoa powder off the foot. So, but hopefully it'll be that chocolatey all the way through.
Let's get it cut up.
So Nimmy is Rocky's brother, right?
I think it's his brother.
There's Doc when you need him.
I don't remember. I've had his other one. I think it's Zen. It wasn't that great. I almost feel like it's the only reason he's in cigars is because his brother is.
Cut your off.
Yeah.
Smoke has a really dryness to it, I guess. For lack of a better term.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of parches your mouth.
Peppery.
I got a big clump of pepper sitting in the back of my throat.
Yep, exactly.
I agree. A little bit of a firm draw. I didn't think it would be that bad, but
I wouldn't be surprised if it loosens up though when it gets warm.
yeah, pepper all coating my tongue and down the back of my throat.
Yep.
Basically a pepper bomb.
Dry pepper.
Hopefully that dies down because I am not a fan of pepper bombs.
I'll tell you right now, I don't think this cigar would be very good with something like a scotch or a whiskey, because I think it would be too much for your palate. You're gonna have to have something a little sweet to drink with this, or at least something real mild like coffee or something, tea.
Whew.
Yeah, none of that chocolate.
Overly
No,
nice.
which is weird because
Well, let's get into the first third. Approach the 10-minute mark. See if we get Well, any welcome back. We're about 10 minutes into this Nimmy D. And for me, the burn isn't great. I'm not sure I'm going to need to touch it up yet, but we'll see how it goes. The ash looks a little flaky, so I'm not real impressed with that. The draw has loosened up a little bit. It's still on the firmer side, but much more manageable for me. I would say right now around the medium in body. Flavors, I've really lost that spice, that pepper. It's nowhere near as prevalent as it was. There's still a little bit in the finish, but not a lot. We were discussing it, and I pick up kind of like a wet, like musky, maybe leather. We brought up leather. Kind of like an earthiness, maybe a little woodiness. Very rustic, musky flavors. Very nice. It's actually rather enjoyable now. I'm really happy that the pepper's gone away, and so far so good.
You know, yeah, just a lot of flavors that I really wasn't expecting in this cigar. I mean, you know, I looked at it and I thought this could be chocolate all the way through, but it's got a lot of really earthy, you know, I use that word rustic flavors. There's definitely that like wet earthiness, and I don't know if it's leather. I don't know what it is, but I still get a lot of that pepper. To me, the finish is just kind of reminiscent of like almost a beef jerky or something, just because there's so much spice. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I am.
Yeah,
I had a reminiscence there of a clean hotel room, but
yeah. Definitely get some of that there. A little bit of Dawn and Febreze and all that. But no, it's a good smoke. Like Justin said, I'm not wild about the ash so far. It's kind of flaky, but it hasn't fallen off so far. So we'll see.
I'd just like to say, if there's anyone watching from the Procter & Gamble company, we do like Dawn and Febreze.
Yeah.
They're good brands.
Not to eat.
Yeah, just we don't want to smoke them or eat them. Yeah, more or less what the guy said. That my burn got off real bad in the first quarter of an inch, and I had to correct it quite a bit, but I think it's going to start to take off a little better. The ash is really flaky, you know, so we'll see about that. I think it's about to fall in my lap if I'm not careful. The pepper did go away for me, probably 80%. You know, it's gone away, and I think both the guys nailed it. There's this damp muskiness, woodiness, maybe leathery, and I was just saying this is kind of my soapbox for a second. People always say, well, I don't know what leather tastes like. No, but you know what a new pair of shoes or a saddle shop smells like, and aroma is most of taste, you know, the sense of taste. So you can kind of get an idea what where that comes from, that description. So, and Justin hit it on the head too, that there's a muskiness there, you know, like an hour after a real hard rain. It's kind of in the air, but again, I agree with what Justin said. The draw is a little better. It's not great. It's still sort of firm, but I'm only, you know, half an inch in, so we'll see.
sorry, I had to actually finally do the touch-up. Well, let's get into the second, third, approach the midpoint, see if we get any changes. Well, welcome back. We're about halfway on this Nimmy D, and for me, there's not a whole lot to update on. The ash is still kind of flaky. The burn isn't great, but I haven't had to touch it up again, so that's a good thing. Still around a medium in body for me. Flavors are still consistently the same. Still kind of get that muskiness, a little bit of earth, leather, very kind of wet and damp, but those flavors are very good. I am enjoying it. The finish is relatively long for me, but I would like to see something to change in the cigars. You know, either do a 180 or bring something new into the profile, but still, so far a decent stick.
Yeah, I agree. It's you know, for a little while there, it got a little bit sweeter, I guess, for me, and I thought I was finally getting some of that chocolate that I got off the aroma, but pretty much leveled out. I mean, you know, overall the finish to me on this cigar is you know, we talked about it before, like a marinade almost. I mean, there's just so much like salt and spice for me on the finish that it's just got that marinade type of aftertaste. And again, totally unexpected with this cigar, but really good. Construction's good. Made one touch up at the beginning, and it's pretty much held out. So good stick.
Yeah, you know, I touched mine up early on, and I thought it was going to be good. And it was good for about another inch, and now it's getting off again. The ash looks sort of firm, but you can see these big cracks in it as it gets longer. So I don't think I'm going to be able to pull off a big chunk of ash like Justin did earlier. But this cigar has definitely gotten a whole lot smoother. Never mind the roving canine. It's the cigar. The whole flavor as a whole has gotten a lot smoother. The harshness and that muskiness is really kind of decreased, and I'm really enjoying it more. I wish the draw would loosen up a little more, but it's just not. So again, it's not bad, but it's just kind of annoying. So onward and upward.
Well, let's get into the final third. Approach the no point. See if we get any changes. Welcome back. We're at the final third of this Nimmy D. And as I approached that mid-third, it started to get really good, a lot better than any other time in the cigar. The flavors were pretty much the same, but they kind of mellowed, and I started getting a nice bitter coffee in the finish. That lasted very short time, maybe a half an inch or so, and the cigar started to get a little warm, a little harsh for me. Not saying it's bad. I am approaching, I've only got like an inch and a half, maybe a couple inches left, but I was hoping that would last a little longer. Overall, the ash was always a little flaky. I never asked myself. I got a nice chunk of it, but this didn't look right. A lot of touch-ups. Draw was firm throughout. It did get a little better right after the first third, or right at the first third, but it just never really was a nice draw. You had to work at it a little bit. Always medium in body. The flavors, like I said, was that nice muskiness, a little bit of earth and leather, kind of those damp, kind of earthy flavors. The first, as we said in the first couple puffs, was that pepper bomb that I don't really care for, but that died off really nice, or really fast, and went into those nicer flavors. At the end, I started getting a little bit of that bitter coffee, and then it went harsh. Overall, it's a nice cigar. It's not super complex. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot better than any other cigars by Nimmy D, Nimish Patel, I think is his name. But overall, I think it's a good end of the day smoke. I think you could probably smoke it any time of the day because it's not really overpowering. Just nice medium in body. Not a strength cigar for me. But if I was going to have to rate it, I'd give it a solid 8 because I did enjoy it, but I would like a little more out of it.
Yeah, agreed. In this last third or so, the construction kind of fell apart on me. I had a little bit of tunneling, and I ashed it off and restarted, and it just stopped burning. So construction-wise, up until you get to the last third, it was pretty good. But this is the type of cigar to me that I was surprised when Justin said he had it for a month. Because it kind of tastes like it hadn't been aged, but it had. And just kind of simple construction problems with it. So certainly not a bad cigar, but not a great one. Something that I'd try again, but maybe I'd put a little more age on them. Maybe keep them.
Maybe a different Vitola.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a pretty big Patel fan, and it definitely doesn't take my interest off of Patel, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd go a little bit lower. I'd probably give it a 7, just because this one cigar wasn't. You look at it and it's got that classy look to it. And it's got great aromas, but the actual smoking of the cigar just didn't really grab me. So solid stick, something I try again, but not something I go rushing out the gate either.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is kind of the old saying about don't judge a book by its cover. I think that's quite appropriate here, but not in the sense of it looked great, felt great, smelled great, but it is not smoked great at all. The first half an inch or so, or inch, was nothing but 90% pepper bomb, and I hate that in a cigar. And then the burn got off immediately, and then I fixed it. Then it went out, and I lit it. And then it got good. In the middle it got good for about a half an inch or an inch, where it was super smooth, no harshness, nothing rough about it at all. And I thought, this is great. And boy, did that end after about an inch. And then this last third, it started to tunnel. I trimmed it up. I didn't trim it up, but I shorted up with a lighter and relit it, and it's burned okay, but it's still, the draw is just way, way too tight to be this far into a cigar. I could understand if I was an inch in, but when I got an inch and a half left, and I'm having to work this hard to smoke a cigar, then it's just not good. And I know these cigars have been taken good care of. Justin takes good care of his cigars, and it's been sitting in his humidor for a solid month or more. So I'm just not impressed with it. I relit it several times. I touched it up 3 or 4 times. There's just a lot of harshness here or there with a good middle inch. So to me, it's just not worth it. I might try it again if someone handed it to me, but I'm not going to go out and buy them. I'm not going to keep them around, I don't think. I would be interested to see with, this is a month in, is 6 months aging, what that might do for it, but I don't know that it's going to fix it. So for me, it's a 6. It's just not that good a cigar.
Well, in conclusion, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, smoke 'em if you got 'em.